Right now, Americans owe $1.25 trillion on credit cards. Last year, they paid over $253 billion in interest and fees alone just to carry that debt around. That's not spending, that's rent paid to a number on a screen. And here's what almost nobody tells you. Even if you pay your bill in full this month, you can still get hit with a charge next month for money you already paid off. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how that happens and exactly how to get under it. Welcome to Sketch to Survive, where every week we build practical survival guides for the problems modern life throws at us. Here's what's actually happening. The average interest rate on a card that's carrying a balance right now sits above 21%, higher than almost any legal loan you can get. And nearly half of cardholders carry a balance for at least 1 month out of the year. 1 in 3 Americans currently owe more on their cards than they have saved for an emergency. Not close to it, more than. Now, here's the part that should genuinely make you angry. That surprise charge I mentioned, it's called residual interest, sometimes called trailing interest. And card companies have known for years that almost nobody understands it. Here's how it works. Interest keeps building daily between the moment your statement closes and the moment your payment actually posts. So you can pay your full statement balance, think you're done, and still get a small charge on your next month's bill for interest that built up in the gap. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau looked into this back in 2015 and found issuers weren't breaking any laws, they just weren't explaining it clearly. It's not illegal, it's just invisible. So why does credit card debt trap so many smart, careful people? A few reasons, and some of them aren't what you'd expect. First, swiping a card genuinely changes how your brain processes spending. Researchers at MIT ran an experiment years ago auctioning off basketball tickets. People bidding with credit cards were willing to pay nearly twice as much as people bidding with cash for the exact same tickets. Same seats, same game. The only difference was how it felt to pay. Cash creates a physical pinch. A card doesn't. Second, you're probably locked into a pattern you didn't consciously choose. Economists split cardholders into 2 groups: revolvers, who carry a balance, transactors, who pay in full. New research using linked credit bureau data found that most people stay in the same group for years, sometimes decades. It's less a monthly decision and more a groove your spending has worn into place. Third, the language on your statement built to feel harmless. Available credit, minimum payment, revolving credit, all of it is worded to sound like a normal, sustainable resource. None of it sounds like what it actually is: compounding debt. Here's the moment that changes how you see this whole problem. 2 people each owe $5,000. One carries it on a credit card at 21% interest. The other took a personal loan at 9%. Same amount owed, similar monthly payment, but the credit card holder will pay close to 3 times more in total interest before it's gone. The debt itself was never really the enemy. The interest rate attached to it is. And most people never even check if there's a cheaper way to carry the exact same balance. Now here's what actually works. Step 1, know the real number. List every card, every balance, and every interest rate on one page. You can't outplan a number you haven't actually looked at. Step 2, stop the bleeding. If new charges keep landing on the card you're trying to pay off, the math never catches up, no matter how much you send in. Step 3, pick your attack order. The avalanche method attacks the highest interest rate first and saves you the most money mathematically. The snowball method clears the smallest balance first for quick momentum. Neither is wrong. The one you'll actually stick with for the next year is the right one. Step 4, make the call almost nobody makes. Many issuers will lower your rate if you simply call and ask, especially if you've been reliable. It costs a 5-minute phone call. It can save hundreds of dollars a year. Most people never try because they assume the rate is fixed. It usually isn't. Step 5, consider a balance transfer carefully. Some cards offer 0% interest for up to 21 months on a transferred balance. There's usually a fee of 3 to 5% upfront, but if you can clear the balance within that window, you avoid over a year of compounding interest completely. Step 6, protect your score while you pay it down. Here's something counterintuitive. Once a card is paid off, don't rush to close it. Closing it shrinks your total available credit and can shorten your average account age. which can actually lower your credit score right when you're trying to prove you've turned things around. Here's your challenge for the next 2 weeks. Days 1 and 2, list every card, balance, and rate on one page. No hiding from it. Days 3 and 4, call every issuer and ask directly for a lower rate. Write down what each one says. Days 5 and 6, pick Avalanche or Snowball and write your exact payoff order. Days 7 through 10, research whether a balance transfer or personal loan could lower your real interest cost, fees included. Days 11 and 12, set up one extra payment toward your priority card. Days 13 and 14, check your total number again and compare it to day 1. You just built your credit card survival system. Notice what none of this required. It didn't require a bigger income or a stroke of luck. It required knowing your real numbers and attacking the interest rate itself, not just the balance sitting on top of it. Now the mistakes that keep people stuck. Mistake 1, paying only the minimum month after month with no plan. That's not paying off debt. That's paying the interest rent forever. Mistake 2, closing a paid-off card the same week you clear it. Give your credit profile time to adjust first. Mistake 3, ignoring calls or letters from your issuer. They're far more willing to help before you fall behind than after. Mistake 4, treating a 0% balance transfer offer as permission to spend more. That resets the clock and makes the debt worse than where you started. Now, a quick reality check. If you're carrying this debt because of a real income gap, a medical crisis, or a job loss, these steps won't erase that underlying problem, and no video honestly can. What they can do is stop the interest rate from making a hard situation even harder while you work on the bigger picture, whether that's more income, a hardship program, or a nonprofit credit counseling agency. Here's your sketch to survive survival card for this episode. Point 1. The problem. Credit card interest compounding faster than most people can pay it down. Point 2. The biggest trap. Believing the minimum payment is actually shrinking your debt. Point 3. The first action. List every card, balance, and rate on one page today. Point 4. The rule to remember. The interest rate is the real enemy, not the balance. At Sketch to Survive, we can't promise life will get easier, but we can help you prepare for it, one problem at a time. Until next time, survive smarter.